We'll talk about the difference between survival and camping. Survival in the woods and camping in the woods. Last Thursday, I kind of got a wake-up call from the Creator, and he directed me to go into the forest and spend the night in the forest. I left my phone in my car, had no flashlight, no lighter, no knife, nothing like that, no tent, and then I was directed by the Creator to get naked, get down in my birthday suit, and spend the night in the forest. It was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. It was like survival, kind of. And the biggest hurdle was the bugs. The bugs were like all over me. I must have gotten like, throughout the night, I probably got 100 mosquito bites. I felt like I was freaking out. So I kept getting this voice that popped in my head. Like, the thoughts that would pop in my head whenever I started freaking out was, stay calm. They are you, you are them. We're all one. They're healing you. I was like thinking like, okay, how the freak are mosquito bites gonna freaking heal me? And then the thought, Aurora nodes or acupuncture nodes. That's what they're doing. They're opening up those nodes on your body through the biting. And then the thought, how vaccines, they pump stuff into your bloodstream, and your immune system is not built to deal with stuff that gets injected into your bloodstream. And the thought that mosquitoes aren't natural. They came into existence when humans started taking injections. It was like a response from nature. And the purpose of a mosquito is to get that shit out of your blood. As long as you remain calm, the mosquito bite doesn't hurt. You don't even feel it. It's when you freak out and you have a negative emotion that it starts to sting. And if you slap it before it's done, then the next day it'll start itching. And the reason why it itches is so that you open that wound, so that you can finish the job, so that crap can get out of your bloodstream through the lymphatic system, and it'll come out as like the yellow bile that is like the crud that's in your bloodstream. That's what the purpose of it is. That's what the Creator told me through the random thoughts that just pop in my head. That makes sense to me. So I'm freaking out from that. And then I'm trying to fall asleep just so that if I just fall asleep in the forest, then it'll all be over quickly. I'll wake up and it'll be morning time, right? Well, I couldn't fall asleep because as I was trying to fall asleep, flies would try to land on my ears. Specifically my ears, nowhere else but my ears. They would buzz real close, and then they'd land on my ears and start crawling around on my ears, which freaked me out. It would freak anyone out. And eventually I would try to slap them away. And I was like, what could possibly be the purpose of this? And the thought that popped in my head was, you know how, like, I would always be like picking at the hair follicles of my ear. I remember doing this a lot. They would like bother me, and I would pick at them and pull them out from my eardrum. The earlobe. And that thought popped in my head. And it was like, why were you doing that? And then the thought that balance is controlled by the ear. Then the thought that there's nanotechnology that can replicate or control hair follicles. And this can be done to control your balance. And like your balance is like your accelerometer, which is the thing on your phone that controls its positioning. Like that's how your phone, when you pick up your phone and you point it towards yourself, it will automatically turn on, like the light will go on, because it knows the position of where the phone is through the accelerometer. And that's basically what your balance is. So if you could control that, you would be able to control the movement of someone subtly. And so then I got the thought that the flies were biting off those hair follicles. They were removing them from my ear. So I let it go. It was freaking me out, but I let it go. And that was the purpose for the flies. And the thought that kept on popping in my head was, they're you, you are them, they're healing you, we're all one. So I let it go until eventually they stopped going in my ear. They just flew near my ear. Like, it would buzz near my ear. And the purpose of that, I think, well, what popped in my head was, it's to make me calm while I'm in nature. That's the point of it. If you can deal with it, and stay calm, bringing you more in tune to nature because you're calm when you're with. And the whole experience was like, it was nuts because it's like every animal does this every single night. And I could hear as I'm trying to fall asleep, like a rabbit in a death throes. Something just killed a rabbit near where I'm sleeping in the woods. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, something's gonna show up. And I'm like getting ready to fight. He's like, and then like the thought, no, just calm down. They are you, you are them. They're not gonna harm you. They know what you're going through. Don't worry about the rabbit. They're not gonna come near you. They're not gonna bother you. You're not ready for that. That's the thought that was popping in my head. Now, where I did this was on my, like, around my land. And there's no, like, wolves or bears. But there's deer and there's possums, there's rats, there's all kinds of foxes. There's, I don't know, rabbits, all kinds of shit. And I kept, like, throughout the whole night, I kept asking, like, I kept being, like, thinking that I hear something. And then the thought immediately popped in my head, nothing's coming. Calm down. And nothing ever came. Around like 1 a.m., it starts raining and thunderstorming. And I don't have any shelter, and I'm in my birthday suit. So it's thunderstorming, it's pouring rain. I'm in the middle of the forest and I'm in my birthday suit. So I'm like, okay, what the hell can I do to make a little shelter? And I found like an old tarp. It was like a rundown, like maybe like 1 meter by 1 meter tarp that was just left there from before. The old former owners, they just threw it in the forest. I found it randomly. So I took that and I took some sticks and I like propped it up against a tree. And I was able to like fend off the rain a little bit on the upper half of my body as I tried to sleep. And around this time I started seeing, now I left my phone in my car and I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. So I thought maybe someone was coming to look for me because I started seeing these blue flashing lights in the woods, in the middle of the forest. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I didn't have my glasses on, but I'd seen it. They looked like, it was like fireflies, but it was a blue light and it was like 1 a.m. Fireflies don't come out at 1 a.m. and they have a green light, not a blue light. So the thought that popped in my head was fairies. I know that sounds crazy. It is kind of crazy. So I continue trying to fall asleep. And I'm looking outside the side of my little shelter as I'm lying down. And I see a little blue light pop up right near my tent, right where I could actually see. Like I can see about like 3-4 feet in front of me. And it was like right in front of my face. And I see this, I'm looking, I'm like squinting. And it's like a little blue person, like an inch tall. And it was flying with wings. It was like blue ethereal looking, like a ghost kind of, but like more, you could see more of it. And it was like it was a fair, like it was dressed and it had a little like fiddle or something. And it was playing this little fiddle and like dancing. And then when I saw it, it like got excited and started doing like flips and shit. Like, hey, you could see me, yeah. And started like doing flips and like dancing more. And I was like, what the frig is going on? And then it eventually went away. And I'm thinking like, all right, am I freaking losing my mind? And then the thought popped in my head, why can you buy reading glasses at ShopRite or Walmart? And why only reading glasses? Why can't you buy distance glasses at Walmart and ShopRite? Why is that? Why do you need to go to an eye doctor to get distance glasses specifically? Like, you don't need to do that with reading glasses. You can order reading glasses online at your prescription level. I don't need reading glasses. I can see fine short-sighted. But from far away, I can't see shit. And you can't get those type of glasses anywhere except for through an eye doctor. So that thought pops in my head and was like, why is that? And so later on, I did a little more research about this. And apparently the distance glasses are concave, and then the close-up glasses, reading glasses, are convex. I'm not buying that you need an eye doctor just for a shape of a lens. That doesn't make any sense unless there's an ulterior motive to it. There's something else going on. Because I remember doing research on that and how like every single glasses is all made in Italy. It all goes through Italy. Every single lens maker, Oakley, Ray-Ban, everything. It all goes through a company in Italy. Why are they allowed to go through Italy? I think it's because the far away glasses, they put something that hides a light spectrum so that you can't see certain things, like the blue fairy thing I saw when you're out in the forest and whatnot. It's to hide that. That's not one way they could hide the veil.